Hello everyone, what is called stream entry, once returner, non-returner, and arahantship is, in truth, merely language, terms used to explain stages of understanding for us to hear. Ascending these stages does not mean that anyone truly becomes something. They are simply words that help those who seek answers bring their doubts to an end. For those who struggle toward permanent freedom from suffering, I will explain these stages in detail, so that it may finally be understood that non-birth, or the dismantling of selfhood, is in fact the awakening that sees the process of fabrication that arises from ignorance, and that ignorance itself originates from our source element, the mind. None of this is as complex as it has been commonly understood. I will begin explaining by returning to the starting point most familiar to all of us, the understanding that we are human beings. All of us begin by relying on fabrication, relying on name element and form element, then clinging to them, believing in them, and living our lives upon this understanding for a long time. And that is fine. We can begin from here first, by mutually accepting that we are human. We use this body as a tool to live our lives, and from this very point, we encounter suffering. When there is suffering, we try to seek happiness. Yet no matter how much we try, suffering continues to arise again and again. Many people struggle throughout their entire lives, and even at this age, still see no sign of true liberation from suffering. When this is so, we begin searching for ways to be free from suffering, through many forms, through many schools. This is what is collectively called Dhamma practice. Normally, I do not often begin explanations from the premise of being human, but this time I will start here so that we can clearly share the same picture. When we begin to practice the Dhamma, whether by entering meditation centers, reading texts, or listening to teachings, we are mostly taught in stages. I will follow these stages step by step, all the way to what is called noble attainment, so that we may consider whether our own experiences align with what is being described. Everything I explain from here onward is only language, not reality itself. I am not speaking from doubt, but from direct realization of the state of mind that is not anything at all. Non-birth is like this, and when it truly occurs, there is not even a remaining sense that we have become something. Even while speaking, there is no sense that there is a me speaking. This is not communication through sound. It could be called a transmission from mind to mind. But because we are unable to directly understand something so simple, it becomes necessary to rely on a sequence of stages. At the beginning, we are taught to believe that we are human beings and that there is a self. When suffering arises, when there is inner constriction and heaviness, a desire arises to awaken, to be free from suffering. This is the goal we all share together. The first thing that is taught is generosity. Generosity is the beginning of letting go of things outside the body by sharing with others, whether resources, possessions, or necessities for living. Such sharing helps relieve the suffering of others, and at the same time, the giver feels that they have relinquished a part of what they consider their own. This stage has not yet reached noble attainment. It is simply the beginning of learning how to let go. When we share with others, feelings of fullness, satisfaction, and comfort often arise. And of course, we like such feelings. We do not want uncomfortable, irritated, or painful feelings. So we give again and again. We give, feel comfortable. The comfort lasts only a short while. Then suffering returns, and we give again. Giving at this level has only this much benefit. It temporarily makes the mind feel better, and it trains letting go only at the material level. But it must be clearly seen that at this stage, the sense of self remains completely intact. The sense of me is still fully there. We think this body is our body. That attachment is still there. This voice is our voice, right? Emotions are also our emotions. We are happy. We do not want painful emotions. We want pleasant emotions. It is like picking up a coin. We want heads, not tails. So we look for ways to get the coin so that we get only heads. And then we start to feel heavy because we keep carrying more and more coins. It is heavy. This is what we have been doing all along, up to this very age. A simple question now. Have we become noble beings yet? Have we attained the Dhamma yet? We have not attained it. We have not awakened to the mind. This is what is called letting go of external things. Then we listen to the teachers who say that the next step is the stage of observing precepts. Observing precepts is said to be not harming others and not harming oneself. But I want to speak more clearly than that. Observing precepts is learning the normality of the mind. Sila means the normality of the mind. We call this observing precepts. But the normality of the mind is already normal by itself. The problem is that we do not know the mind, and we do not know what the normality of the mind is like. Grasp this point carefully. We think that observing precepts means wearing a certain outfit. Ask yourself, is it really like this? If you're not wearing that outfit, can it still be called observing precepts? This is the first point. Understand it clearly. I will keep going step by step, all the way to noble attainment, to the very end. For now, I will keep offering wisdom. What we lack is only wisdom. If we have wisdom and can grasp the principle, it will burst open immediately. It will become light, open, and spacious. Every burden will completely fall away, and noble attainment will arise right then and there. As I'm speaking all of this right now, this is relying on the inner voice that speaks, using sound as its means of communication. Observe carefully. From the beginning to the end of the recording, this sound has been functioning continuously. But it is not only this sound that has been functioning all along. There is also knowing. Observe our own mind. It knows this sound by itself the whole time. It knows on its own, and it understands on its own as well. The knowing and the understanding, the contemplation in this way, are functioning by themselves continuously. Anyone who can see this no longer needs to seek further. But if one cannot see it, does not understand it, and still has doubts, then listen on. What I am speaking about right now is normality. But we still do not understand. That is fine. Let us first take up the matter of precepts, as human beings commonly misunderstand and cling to them. We understand precepts as wearing a particular outfit. Precepts mean that we must not do this or that. Not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual misconduct, not taking someone else's spouse, not lying or deceiving, not drinking intoxicants. Once we hear and learn this, we refrain from doing these things. So it is said, this will make us purer than before. This is what we have heard, right? It will allow us to live peacefully and happily, right? Once we do this, everyone does not harm one another. When there is no mutual harm, then we will have happiness. Isn't that right? In the end, it is the same as the first step, generosity. All of this exists to be used within this conventional world. We understand ourselves as human beings, and we come to observe precepts. We lose the point and think, wearing this outfit means being a person of virtue. Are we deceiving ourselves? Grasp this point carefully. Because if wearing this outfit truly made us virtuous, then everyone who wears this outfit would necessarily have virtue. Ask yourself this. Precepts are the normality of the mind, and right now, what do we understand precepts to be? We already understand them as an outfit. We understand precepts as having many prohibitions. If there were 500 or 1,000 rules, we would be exhausted to death just trying to keep 500 of them. Can you imagine that? Even a single rule is already tiring enough. Now I am going to say this next. Suppose we observe the 5 precepts, What for? What is our goal? Our goal is so that we do not go and harm others. This is the highest objective, to not harm others. Is that right? Starting from generosity, we share what we have with others, which gives rise to pleasant feelings and loosens our clinging. The next, higher level is the matter of observing precepts. This is how most of us understand it. We understand that observing precepts means wearing an outfit and not harming others. This also loosens our tendency to gossip about others. We do not criticize anyone. We stay with ourselves. We do not associate with anyone. We remain with ourselves. This is how we understand it, isn't it? Are we truly not gossiping about anyone and truly staying with ourselves? Or are we still thinking about this person and that person, about family matters, about debts, about the future, about how we will go on from here? We begin to feel boredom. Have we ever seen these states? There are these fabricated thoughts constantly disturbing our hearts, and yet we have already come to believe that by doing this, we are being people of virtue, that we are virtuous. It is full of attachment to us. There is still a me. There is a me as a human being, and there is still a me. There is a me all the time. It is just that we are not busy with the outside. We understand it this way, that we must not go and be involved with anyone outside. When we are not involved with others outside, then we are virtuous. So we go to live in forests, in mountains, in quiet places, so that we can be with ourselves and not be involved with anyone. This is how human beings understand and hold on to the matter of precepts. And then we claim, I am a virtuous person now, saying, now I keep the 5 precepts. Now I keep the 8 precepts, 10 precepts, dividing them into levels one after another, and we classify these stages. Fine, no argument there. This is the understanding of sentient beings. But do you know that truly keeping precepts is actually seeing the nature of the mind's fabricating activity, observing within? It is seeing the inner states that are normal just as they are, seeing and understanding the normality of these states and not suffering over them. Seeing in this way is called keeping precepts. This is still a coarse level. Keeping precepts means that whatever we do, we see the various states, we see them and let them be. We do not harm, we do not cling, we do not interfere with any state. We see the inner states that think. We see the voice that thinks inside. We see the mental images that appear in the mind. We see all kinds of emotions, pleasant, unpleasant, calm, neutral. We see these states. We see the states of remembering and forgetting. We see these states within, and we see the various states outside. We see the normality of everything as it is like this. Every time it is seen, it is like this. And we do not interfere with this nature. This is the characteristic of truly keeping precepts. This is a much more refined understanding. Now the stage of training and concentration. We say there must be generosity, precepts, and concentration, right? So we go and train. And then we say that before concentration, there must be mindfulness as well. In the end, we separate mindfulness and concentration into 2 different things. Do you know that mindfulness is simply being aware? Right now, do you know that you are hearing my voice? Do you know? This is mindfulness. It knows. It knows that it is currently receiving this sound. This is mindfulness. Mindfulness is recollection. It knows what is being known right now. It knows the sound. Whatever occurs, it knows. Otherwise, we would have been hit by a car long ago. Without this, we would not even finish school. Without this, we call it mindfulness. In truth, if we drop the word mindfulness altogether and simply say that there is recollection, that it is knowing, right now it is knowing this sound. This is mindfulness. Do you understand? Why do we need to train it? Mindfulness does not mean not being distracted or not forgetting. It is not about not being lost or not forgetting. It is simply about knowing that right now it is like this, knowing that right now there is forgetting, knowing that I am forgetting right now. This is mindfulness. Now I remember, knowing that I remember now. This is mindfulness. Right now there is a bad smell. It knows that right now there is a bad smell. Then a thought arises inside saying, this won't do. The drain needs to be cleared. It smells really bad. And it also knows that it is now thinking like this. This is mindfulness. But if there is no knowing, then it is called a lack of awareness. Practitioners often want to train right here, don't they? Is there anyone listening to this who does not understand? If you do not understand this point, you will continue to go astray. If we observe from the time we began practicing until now, how is it? How much mindfulness do we have now? If we think that mindfulness truly exists as an entity, then I will ask, how many kilograms of mindfulness have you accumulated by now? Mindfulness has no form, no entity. Yet we think it has an entity, don't we? Who here can understand this point? Understand it clearly. When there is mindfulness, we then say there will be concentration. What is concentration? It is steadiness. Right now we know my voice, aren't we? Is it steady with this sound? If it is steady with the sound I am expressing right now, then this is concentration. It is being steady with something. If it is steady with a single thing, still with a single word, with a single image, with a single feeling, whatever it is that is known as one thing, and remain steady with it, this is concentration. Concentration means steadiness. Right now, what are we steady with? Right now, steady with sweeping and mopping the house. Right now, steady with eating. Right now, steady with lying down and watching a movie. It is steady in every posture. Steady with working. Steady with solving problems. Steady with rushing to do something. It is rushing, yet it is steady right there. That is it. We already normally have concentration. Mindfulness or concentration, we already have them. But if I say, try erasing the words mindfulness and concentration altogether, and instead understand it like this, while there is knowing, that knowing itself is already mindfulness. There is no need to ask whether it is called mindfulness. While knowing right now, knowing my voice right now, you are knowing, right? And is it steady with this sound? It is steady within, seeing this sound, knowing this sound, and understanding on its own continuously. It is steady, isn't it? If anyone is like this, then this is already mindfulness and concentration complete. Is there anyone who still does not understand this point? But for those who are still seeking liberation, we misunderstand mindfulness as something we must not be distracted from, must not forget. This is how we understand it. And concentration, we think, means that we must sit, we must walk, we must stay with one thing, such as a mantra, or staying with a particular image, or staying with a particular state. We call that concentration, or some say we must focus on inner emotions and not think about anything at all. This is how sentient beings come to understand concentration, that it must involve not thinking anything, being completely still. The longer one can remain still, the better. Sit still for one day, sit still for 1 week, and then we say, wow, I have concentration, my concentration is very good. We go and train in stillness. So in the end, what is concentration? I have already pointed it out, what concentration is. Being established, staying with a particular state, is called samatha. Being established with knowing, where knowing continues to arise, this is vipassana. Between samatha and vipassana, this is called being established either to obtain calm or being established for wisdom to arise. We believe that the Buddha taught us to train like this, don't we? We believe that doing this will cause something to happen, either to obtain concentration or to obtain wisdom. We practice to gain calm, to gain concentration, or we practice relying on these things to give rise to wisdom. If we can grasp the principle that what we truly want is wisdom, then concentration is merely a tool to give rise to wisdom. But what kind of establishment gives rise to wisdom? Being established with a single word such as Buddho Buddho, where does wisdom arise from that? Being established with a single word, a single image. Suppose we imagine one image, an image of a diva, holding that image constantly, imagining a deity, imagining one's parents, holding that image all the time. Does that give rise to wisdom? Or do we simply want calm? Observe and ask yourself, we want calm. Calm is a result that arises from being established with a single thing. When we are established with that thing, we get to experience the feeling of calm. Do we know that concentration does not mean a feeling of calm? Concentration means establishment. What is established? Right now we are hearing my voice. Are we established with this sound? Established with the knowing that is listening right now. Correct? This establishment with knowing, this establishment with the sound, does it include awareness as well? If there is awareness present, that is mindfulness. If there is an establishment, that is concentration. Here it is, mindfulness and concentration. But we instead understand that it must be calm. Calm is a feeling. We want pleasant feeling, calm feeling, in order to escape unpleasant feeling and agitation. In the end, it is all feeling. We want to escape painful feeling in order to get pleasant feeling, calm feeling. Painful, agitated feeling and pleasant, calm feeling are like the two sides of a coin. We want heads. We do not want tails. Who here does not understand this? If we remain like this, the result is that the path and fruition will not arise, and we will not be able to ascend to the level of noble attainment at all. Do you understand? I am pointing this out very clearly. The next stage is the stage of wisdom. I will speak about the stage of wisdom in order to explain becoming noble beings at stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are spoken of as stages. Do we believe there is a self that goes and becomes something? There is still a self there, practicing the Dhamma in order for a self to become something. That is not what it is about. Practice is for loosening, for releasing the sense of self. When it loosens by 25%, this is noble attainment at the first stage. Loosening, 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 until it loosens by 100%. That is the final stage of noble attainment. It is finished. The term noble being means that it has loosened from the sense of self, from the sense of mine. It loosens through wisdom, not by taking the body to do something. I will explain this in detail. Noble attainment at the first stage is what we call a stream enterer, right? In that case, I will set aside this conventional language. I will speak instead about the nature of the mind as it loosens from holding and clinging. Grasp this point carefully. When this body dies, the mental activity that envelops the mind, called the spirit mind, will carry our mind drifting off to find a new body, and it will then take itself to be a water creature, a land creature, a winged creature, a burrowing creature, on land, in the air, in space. It will immediately take itself to be that being. But when that body dies, the spirit mind will again drift off to find a new body, and it will immediately take itself to be that thing. This is the nature of entering into possession and clinging. Even now, we understand ourselves to be human beings. This is why the awakened one taught that the 5 aggregates are not us and not ours. Therefore, in order to verify that the 5 aggregates are not us and thus become noble beings, the first thing is to see that this body is not us. Grasp this point carefully. This mind of ours, this consciousness called the spirit mind, can be compared to a bubble. It may be bright or dark, it does not matter. Inside the bubble is simply empty. That is our true mind. The bubble that envelops it is fabrication. It is called the name element. When we lose this body, this spirit mind immediately sends its current to attach to a new body. Bang. Once it attaches to a new body, it takes possession of that body. Therefore, when we see with wisdom that this body is not us, it means there is awakening to the fact that what we are is this spirit mind, and then it must go on to understand itself further. But let us take this step first, the step of seeing that this body is not us. When it sees that the body is not us, what remains? Only the spirit mind remains, and it must then go on to understand itself. This is called the stage of the name element. First, it must loosen from the form element. Noble attainment at the first stage must see clearly that this body is not us. So how do we do this? We rely on the same principles as before: generosity, precepts, and concentration. But if our old understanding is that we must rely on calm, that we want calm, while we pay no attention at all to concentration and mindfulness, then we do not understand at all that while listening to my recording right now, mindfulness and concentration are already present. It is already established. It is awake and aware. It is established with this sound within. Who can see this? That it is established, awake, and aware within. This is mindfulness and concentration. When we observe and are awake within, Dhamma practice is being awake within. Have you ever heard the teaching, do not send the mind outward, reverse the current and awaken within? Have you ever heard the phrase reverse the current? Reversing the current means not flowing along with fabrication, but instead coming back to be established and awake within. Do you understand this point? We see this body as our body. We have to rely on this way of thinking inwardly, that we must see this body as not being us. This body is earth, water, air, and fire. We are thinking this now. This body is earth, water, air, and fire. This body is born, it ages, and it breaks apart. This body, these nails are not us. This skin is not us. This hair is not us. These eyes are not us. This body hair is not us. These bones are not us. We try to contemplate by relying on thought. Right now, we are thinking. This body is earth, water, air, and fire. This skin is not us. This body is dirty. We try to think of it as dirty. We try to think of it as decaying and foul-smelling. We try to think of it as earth, water, air, and fire. We try to think of it as merely earth, merely skin, merely nails, merely bones, merely blood, lymph, pus. We try to think of it as these things, that it is not us. Do you know that all of this arises from thinking? Who can see that all of this comes from thought, that we are thinking like this? Then the body has to be cut apart. Cut off the head, cut off the arms and legs, and throw them away. Here we are thinking, imagining. There are images too. We imagine ourselves thinking like this, imagining it as earth, as water, as air, as fire. Earth is the solid part of this body. Water is the fluid. Air is the air within the body. Fire is the heat element, the warmth that provides heat. This is not us. All of this relies on thinking. And if we see that all of this is thought, it will explode. Bang. There will be an awakening. Hey, all of this is thought. Then where is the self? This kind of knowledge will arise. Try looking at your own hand. Just look. It does not say that it is a hand or that it is our arm, does it? In the end, does this hand speak? Does this leg speak? It does not speak. Then who speaks? The inner voice speaks. Do you see this inner voice? It thinks. This is the back of the hand, this is the palm, this is the left hand, the right hand. This voice speaks, the voice that speaks in the mind. If we are awake within, what does awake mean? Awake means mindfulness, right? And when we are awake within, it sees this activity. Seeing the activity means seeing the voice that speaks in the mind. This is steadiness. Every time we are awake within and see the voice speaking in the mind, this is mindfulness and concentration. They are present all the time. We simply have never been established in being awake within, that is all. When there is mindfulness and concentration, while it is established and awake within, the mind is not sent outward. It is not busy with anyone. Here, this is virtue. Do you see virtue? It is normal. It sees normality and it is normal. It is established and awake within, not harming anyone. Right now it is awake, seeing the voice within. This is normal. It is not harming anyone. Even if there were 1,000,000 precepts, it would be pure in 1,000,000 precepts. Mindfulness is present because it is awake. There is no need to train. It is a different matter altogether. If the principle is grasped wrongly, there is no way awakening can occur. While there is knowing right now, this is mindfulness. While there is establishment, seeing the voice that speaks in the mind, and right now, do you hear my voice? There is no need to train anything. It is hearing, isn't it? That is knowing. That is being established with this sound. This is mindfulness and concentration. There is virtue, mindfulness, and concentration complete. We have heard that when virtue, mindfulness, and concentration are present, they function as one, that they are not separate. They are already unified. They are already here. This is everything functioning together right here. And then when it is seen, all of this is right here. Oh wait, everything arises because of this voice. This body exists because we think. Anyone who understands this, tears fall, it bursts open right now. Congratulations. This is the first stage of noble attainment, and then everything becomes understood. When we know this, when we look at this world, it becomes completely empty. There is knowing without anyone knowing. There is just knowing. It knows, but it does not speak. Try looking. Look at everything in this world, all material elements called form. We will see everything as merely form, merely something that is known. Even this body is merely something that is known. It will be seen that there is no language saying what anything is. It is this inner voice, the voice we are constantly thinking with. The moment that is seen, and then we think inwardly, lemon tree, tears will come. That thing is not a lemon tree. It is this voice that gives value and meaning, calling it a lemon tree. There will be an awakening. Hey, everything is thought, even father and mother. When we look and see an image, and thought says the words father and mother, so in the end, does the idea of father and mother arise from thought? Tears fall, it bursts open. Even these arms and legs that we say are ours. The voice speaks, but these things are merely forms, merely things that are known. Anyone who understands this feels light, open, tears flowing. This is the first noble fruition. This is wisdom at 25%. Do you see? When there is virtue, mindfulness, and concentration, they are already present. There is no need to train. They are phenomena. It sounds nice to say there is virtue, mindfulness, and concentration, but in truth, it is simply being awake within and seeing the activity of thought, seeing how it gives value and meaning to all forms. That is it, knowing like this. It is like the mind is a flashlight. The light shining out is thought. The light that shines out from the flashlight strikes forms. At first, it understands that the forms seen are the real forms themselves, right? But when wisdom begins to arise, it realizes, hey, All of that is merely what is known. It is because there is light that things can be known at all. The light is the key point. Where does this light come from? I will go on to learn about this. It will no longer be interested in form at all. This is what can be called being a noble person at the first stage. This is the wisdom factor at 25%. The wisdom factor. Tears fall. At this stage, it will have no interest in any forms in this world at all, not even this body. It will begin to understand only what is within. Listen to my recordings on the Panya Vimutti channel. Listen a great deal, until my voice is constantly resounding within the mind. Then this Dhamma will dwell steadily within us at all times. The next stage is the stage of seeing emotions. When we are awake within, we will see our own emotions. At this stage, it is entirely an inner conversation. When we are awake within, we will see emotions of happiness, emotions of suffering, emotions of liking and disliking, emotions of calm, emotions of neutrality. We will see, oh, it is just its happiness. When we come into contact with things, suppose we are walking to work and suddenly meet someone, and irritation arises. At another time, we meet someone and suddenly feel good, seeing them and feeling, oh, I feel good. Have we noticed this? If we are awake within, we will see emotions. Do those emotions speak? Suppose we encounter something and suddenly an emotion flares up and anger arises. That emotion does not speak. The emotion does not speak. It is a certain heavy, constricted, burning sensation within. Heavy, stifling, like being scorched by fire. It feels that way, but that sensation does not speak. Then a voice arises saying, I really hate this person. Do we see this voice? It is giving value and meaning to that sensation. When we encounter something and a pleasant emotion arises, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, just seeing this feels so good. We create something. Each time we see it, we feel proud of what we have created. We see it and immediately feel proud, feel good. Have we noticed that emotions arise on their own? Do we see that there is a voice inside saying, oh, I'm so proud of this image. Oh, I did so well. Oh, how good, how good. Today my mood is good. I'm in a good mood. Do we see this voice speaking? This voice gives value and meaning to everything. At first, this voice gives value to forms, to the body, to everything. When it is seen, this voice gives value and meaning to everything outside. Then we see that this voice also gives value to what is inside. This is called the name element, giving value to the name element. At first, the name element gives value to the form element. This is what the Buddha spoke of when he said that we are deluded by form and name, clinging to form and name, called clinging to the 5 aggregates. But the Buddha said they are not us. Seeing that they are not us must be understood gradually. Form is not us, because it is name that gives it value, allowing form to appear at all. Everything appears because the name element goes in to give value. Understand this. Then the name element gives value to the name element itself. The inner voice gives value and meaning to emotions. Emotions have no form, no entity. They are merely certain states. But we leap in and seize those states, then cry and sink into them. I am so sad. I am suffering so much right now. I don't know where I will find the money to pay my debts. I don't know why I have to meet this person. Do you see how thought is thinking? But emotion is another kind of nature. That heavy, constricted, darkened feeling right there. Emotion does not speak. That emotion does not speak at all. It is this voice that immediately gives value and meaning to that emotion. Who can see this? If we can see this, there will be understanding. Oh, emotion does not speak. It is merely a state. It is this voice that gives value and meaning. Who can see that emotion does not speak? Whether it is a pleasant emotion or an unpleasant emotion, it is like heads and tails of a coin. If it is heads, it is that coin. If it is tails, it is that same coin. Whether it is a calm emotion or a restless emotion, it is still that same coin. If we pick up a coin, it must be heads or tails. In the end, emotion is merely a state. Who can see that emotion is merely a state, some kind of state that arises and then dissolves? We do not need to do anything. It arises by itself and it fades by itself. Who can see this? Pleasant emotion arises by itself and fades by itself. Who can see that unpleasant emotion also arises by itself and fades by itself? It is the speaking voice that gives value and meaning, saying there is arising and ceasing. If we can see that emotions do not speak at all, that they are nothing whatsoever, we will see that they appear by themselves and dissolve by themselves. They are all the same. Pleasant emotion and unpleasant emotion are the same thing. Whatever form an emotion takes, it is merely a state. Simply by being awake within, observing within, virtue, mindfulness, and concentration are already present. What is needed is only wisdom, to know according to reality, to see the truth that it is truly just a state, that it arises by itself and fades by itself. Then why do we sink into it, seeing that this knowing is knowing, seeing that it is knowing a pleasant emotion right now? Oh, this pleasant emotion that is known right now, the fact that we know we are happy right now. Oh, it arises by itself. Hey, it fades away by itself. There will be understanding, tears will flow. Oh, it is not my emotion. This is how it will be understood. Then why were we interfering with it? But everything that has been said here arises from this voice. This voice is speaking, giving value and meaning. There will be a voice in the mind giving value and meaning, saying the emotion is this way or that way. But it is this voice that is the instigator. Who can see this? That the name element gives value to the name element. This point is crucial. If we can see this with such understanding, seeing that in truth, emotions, if we are not foolish enough to meddle with them, will be whatever they are. They remain just like this. There will be no entering into possession of either pleasant emotion or unpleasant emotion. Understand it this way, because they are merely states that arise and fade on their own. If we observe and understand it deeply, oh, it is like this. Yet all of this still arises from this voice. The voice that speaks in the mind is giving value and meaning. Who can see this? This point is essential. In short, this voice, this thinking, is the one that fabricates, giving value and meaning to everything. It creates all conventions entirely. Who can see this? When this is seen, interest in emotions falls away completely. Attention turns instead to this voice. It comes to focus on this voice alone. It watches this. Emotions are no longer of interest. They are dropped. Therefore, a mind like this will no longer go to partake in either pleasant realms or painful realms. What is called the sensual realm has already dissolved. This kind of mind will not be deluded into being born in the sensual realm. It loosens and releases, because it sees that what is called happiness, called pleasant destiny, and what is called suffering, called painful destiny, are merely states of mind, and we were foolish enough to cling to them. I have not yet spoken about the one that knows. I will now speak about the knower. Right now you are hearing my voice. It is knowing, isn't it? Our nature knows all the time. While knowing my voice right now, do you see this? We call this knowing mindfulness, and it rests on this sound. We call that concentration. I say, erase both mindfulness and concentration. Erase them. Use direct understanding instead. While knowing this sound, that is the knower. The mind has the function of knowing. It can be called the knowing element. But it is not the mind itself. The mind itself is empty, clear, and pure. Yet it has a function that performs knowing. The knower that is knowing right now, knowing the sound right now. We call this mindfulness. It is steady, knowing in this way. We call this concentration. In truth, there is a knower that rests on objects. When it rests on an emotion, when an emotion is known, we immediately take it to be, I am feeling happy, or I am feeling suffering. Whatever the knower rests on, that very thing comes into appearance. Do emotions have a self? Can they be shaped into something solid? They cannot, right? Then why do we see them as having a self? Because there is this knower that goes and knows them. The knower gets caught up with pleasant emotion, gets caught up with painful emotion. When it gets caught up with emotion, that is why we sink into emotion. But if we know that emotions are merely states, functioning on their own, and we observe inwardly, we will see that they are just states, arising by themselves, fading by themselves, like heads and tails of a coin, flipping back and forth. From the day we were born until today, there has only been happiness sometimes, suffering sometimes. Just this, isn't it? Calm, agitation, or neutrality, they are all emotions. Remember this. When emotions are dismantled by seeing that all of it is thought, this giving of value and meaning happening within, this very thought is what gives value and meaning right now. Who can understand this? Grasp this principle. Thought is the key point. It is all because of ignorance, because of not understanding. When this is dismantled, no longer interested, emotions can be whatever they are. It does not matter. Let them be. They are just like this, appearing and dissolving. When the knowing mind is no longer interested and no longer clings to emotion, it releases and loosens. It stays with the voice, because it has always stayed with the voice. Right now, it is already flowing along with my voice. Do you see this? And it flows along with the meaning as well, believing that it is understanding. Who can see this? The knower is always clinging to thought. Therefore, thought is extremely important. All realms of pleasant and painful destiny, from the lowest states of deprivation all the way up to the highest heavenly realms, are no longer relevant. This is what is meant by the end of the sensual realms altogether, because there is no longer interest in emotion. Now what remains is thought, the inner voice that speaks. At this moment, it is established, awake, and aware within. Observe the inner activity and notice that it is knowing the sound. Simply observe the sound alone. Thought keeps thinking this and that. After a while it says, "Oh, I'm hungry. My legs hurt. I've been sitting too long. Better get up and walk." Do you see the inner voice that speaks like this? After a while it continues, "I can't take it today. I should lie down. I'll sleep for an hour and then get up to continue my tasks." Do you see the inner voice that speaks like this? "It's so cold today." Do you see it speaking like this? If we can see this, we will know. Is it this inner voice that speaks, that creates all stories, everything inside and outside? Is it all coming from this? If we continue to observe, does this inner voice that speaks have any entity? Do we think this voice has a self? At this stage, emotions have already been fully passed through. Therefore, wisdom has reached 50%. Noble attainment at the second stage has already occurred. This is what is called the once returner. It becomes very clear that none of this is personal. Attention is on the inner voice that speaks alone. But in actual experience, there is no sense of, now I am at this level. There is none of that. The only concern is to bring it to completion. The aim is to finish. There is no aim to become a particular status. The name of the stage does not matter at all. What matters is this single question: who exactly is this thought? Why does it keep spinning all the time? Why does it keep thinking constantly? Who is this inner voice that speaks? There must be a clear, unwavering resolve not to continue becoming. When this resolve is clear, the direction becomes unmistakable. The inner voice that speaks, this inner voice that speaks in the mind, does it have any entity? Can it be molded into a form? When it cannot be shaped into anything at all, why do we keep flowing along with it? Why do we flow along with the meanings created by this voice? This inner voice gives value and meaning as good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome. It gives value and meaning as birth and death. Whenever something is seen, this voice immediately comments. That is what is called birth. When something appears, this voice speaks about it completely. I am suffering so much right now. I am very happy right now. When it is seen clearly that this inner voice is what creates everything, and the mind is established within, that itself is the knower. The knowing is awake and established. This is already mindfulness and concentration. There is no longer any need to ask where mindfulness or concentration are. The very knowing, the awareness of what is happening, this awakened awareness, is mindfulness. The awakening itself is mindfulness. The establishment itself is concentration. While awake and established in this way, thought is seen clearly. Whatever thought thinks is seen. It is seen that thought thinks endlessly on its own. It appears by itself and dissolves by itself. It keeps thinking continuously on its own. It cannot be controlled. It is not us. This understanding arises naturally by the nature of knowing itself. When this kind of knowledge arises naturally on its own, and it sees its own thinking, this stage is the stage where thought is seen continuously. Thought is seen again and again. It sees itself. No matter what is being done, thought in the mind is seen continuously. This is a stage where thought is seen very frequently, seen to the point that even while sleeping, it is seen. This is the stage where the mind sees thought all the time automatically. It is established. It is awake and established. This is mindfulness and concentration. And it is knowing. The knower is clinging to thought. It is seeing it all the time. They are together, and they see one another. The knower performs the function of seeing. The thinker performs the function of thinking, appearing for the knower to know. Can you picture this? It is seen very subtly. It keeps being seen every single moment. Even while asleep, it is seen continuously. Even while lying down, it is seen the whole time. This is the stage of the non-returner. This stage is 75%. The wisdom factor here is understanding, very deep understanding. It has no interest at all in emotions or in anything in this world. It is interested only in this thought, who it is, what it is, why it creates so many stories. It remains clinging like this. It sees like this. They keep spinning together like this all the time. It keeps knowing continuously. At this stage, the thinking keeps thinking continuously, and yet there is calm as well. There is a deep inner calm that arises as a result of seeing continuously. There is a profound stillness within. This stage is beyond the Brahma realms. It is called the pure abodes. This is a stage where things operate automatically. I am speaking here in the old-style Dhamma language so that you can understand. When it spins automatically like this is what is called the third stage, wisdom at 75%. But do not want it. Do not be interested in thinking, now I am at this position. That would be the self again. In this knowing that functions automatically like this, there is still a sense of me present all the time. Pride and self-importance are still completely full. From stages 1, 2, and 3, there is still selfhood. There is, I am good, I am skilled, I know, I understand well, even pride. As it continues knowing like this, it knows on its own. There is no me knowing. It just keeps knowing until it understands that everything is functioning on its own, that there is no self, that thinking thinks entirely by itself. This stage still relies on thought. It understands this through thought until there comes a moment when it explodes and tears burst forth, tears fall. Each stage has this characteristic: tears falling with depth, with understanding, with being moved, understanding, being touched, understanding, being touched, tears flowing many times. At each stage, there is understanding, depth, clarity, understanding the absence of self more and more. It keeps loosening from the sense of self until the inner voice that speaks is seen and there is the realization, hey, this is not me. It loosens, tears flow. It sees that the inner voice that speaks is not me. It feels incredibly light, extremely open. It is not me. And yet there is still a subtle sense of me that knows this lightness and openness, knowing that it is light, knowing that it is open. Here, there is still a knower that knows light and open, that is still present. It spins automatically like this. This is 75%. It keeps spinning on and on until there comes a point where it feels light, spacious. The very knowing that it is light and spacious is itself a state appearing to be known, but it is extremely subtle, extremely peaceful. Whatever one is doing, there is a deep inner calm. While walking, there is a sense of ease. Why does everything feel so light, so open? It feels as though nothing is anything at all. It is like walking within nothingness, completely pure, light, open, living lightly, openly. Why is it so light and open? Yet inwardly it is seen continuously. Inside it keeps seeing and letting go, seeing and letting go. The knower knows. The thinker keeps spinning, but it knows and releases, knows and releases, knows and releases at every moment. It is not knowing and then clinging and becoming tense and suffering. No, it knows and releases, 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 but it is extremely fast. It is as if it is about to separate from the thinker. The knower becomes distinct, separating itself. The thinker becomes another thing altogether. They are not related at all. Each performs its own function, unrelated. There is knowing as emptiness, empty, light, at ease. Thought is seen with extreme subtlety until gradually it becomes lighter and lighter, more and more open, until finally it explodes. Boom. Or while one is asleep, with seeing still continuous, suddenly waking up in the middle of the night and it explodes. Boom. Thought and the knowing state explode, shattering completely. The sense of being me, of being human, everything explodes, shattered into fine fragments. What remains is only emptiness, openness, emerging into one substance with the universal element. There is no remaining sense that we are the one who knows. Thought is no longer seen as thought. All of this collapses and dissolves from the mind. It is as if an explosion has occurred in the center of the chest, shattering everything completely, leaving nothing at all. All the knowledge that had been known shatters entirely. The knower shatters as well. No knowing remains, no thinking remains, nothing is anything anymore. While walking, sitting, lying down, or doing anything at all, this knowing arises, bang, just once. And then it is known that there is no us left. One collapses and bows to this awakening, bows to one's own heart, bows to the purity of mind. This is purity. There is no language left to speak, because there is no voice here anymore. There is no knowing state here either, and yet it is a knowing that knows itself by itself. It realizes directly that it itself is emptiness, clear and pure. It is like a flashlight coming to know that it itself is the flashlight. After it has seen that the light is definitely not itself, that the light is merely a phenomenon, when it truly sees the light that shines from the flashlight as only a phenomenon, bang, it comes to know that it itself is the flashlight. In the same way, our mind has created the functions of knowing and thinking, of fabrication, and then given value and meaning that there is a body. It has long been deluded, relying on these tools. Now it reverses the current by awakening within, using the knowing function to know inwardly, until it sees that thought is what creates all stories. It keeps knowing and knowing until it realizes that thought itself is a nature, and that the knower itself is also a nature. None of this is us at all. Both explode together, and then it encounters that what it truly is the pure element. It stops relying on these tools. The mind awakens to its own nature, knowing that it itself is the pure element. And it knows that it will no longer rely on any body again, because it has realized that there has never been any self whatsoever. It no longer relies even on thought. It no longer relies on the knowing function either. These tools continue to function as before, because this body still exists and has not yet disintegrated. It must wait for this body to die. When that happens, the mind, or the pure element, will return to the ultimate element, the element called the universal element. It will return to emptiness, clarity, and purity, which is the original universal element. I am saying universal element, but in truth, there is no universe at all. There is nothing whatsoever. There is only purity merging into emptiness, which is the base, the ground in which the universe appears to reside within us. All things reside within us, yet we are nothing. We are emptiness, clear, absorbing the entire universe. There is the wisdom factor, the knowing factor that fully and completely knows. This is what being a noble one is like. It releases in this way. I have explained in the finest detail what mindfulness and concentration are, but do not be deluded by these terms. Attend instead to the phenomena themselves. The phenomena are like this. Oh, this is what they conventionally call it. But all of these conventions do not truly exist. Even this knowing right now, observing this, hearing my voice right now, it hears by itself. Non-birth is simply knowing that there is nothing at all. The voice that speaks is merely suchness. The knowing is merely suchness. It no longer sees this as sound. It knows that this is something. I am speaking to humans, saying it is something, but in truth it is not even something, and it is not anything at all. All natures merge into one. They merge completely. There is no division that says this is sound or that this is something. There is no giving of value or meaning that it is anything anymore. Within this purity there is no sound, no mental image, no emotion, no memory, no function of knowing. There is no movement at all, no vibration, no going, no coming, no arising, no disintegration. It is nothing with anything anymore. There is nothing left to be anything. This is our true pure element. You may call mind, or the life element, empty, clear, and pure. It does not cling even to the knowing function, yet everything still functions as before. The five aggregates function just as they always have. But this mind now has wisdom. It has awakened to the truth that it is the pure element. It no longer clings to the five aggregates. The five aggregates then become merely suchness, waiting to disintegrate according to their own nature. And this pure element will no longer seek any vessel again. The cycle ends. Suffering is completely dissolved. No suffering remains in this pure element. Permanent liberation from suffering. May all of you awaken to this truth. Listen many times, everyone, and you will realize it all. I will end here. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.